Smith. I want to share this video with you about the Hohokam Indians of Arizona. Uh, there's a name that they're going to bring up here soon that when I heard this, it started to make sense because I've already seen these videos. I've seen them probably 3 or 4 times. I watched them about a year or two ago, but I was watching them when I was looking for, Area 51 and aliens and all that kind of stuff. This Well, and when I say that stuff, I don't want you to think I'm like a nut. I mean, because I had heard about this demon that was brought in out in the desert, or in Nevada, and it was said that when it took form, it looked like E.T. from the movie E.T. and it called itself the Lamb. So I wanted to learn more about it, and I wanted to learn more about how they brought it into the world, these people that did this, or into our plane of existence. So that's what I was actually chasing, but I came across this through an author's YouTube channel, and I just want to share this really quick because when he starts talking about the Sumerians, it starts to make sense, in my opinion, as to why you're finding Sumerian artifacts here.
May not know what they're for, but you can see that these ancient people stacked rocks in a certain way, and you know that geology didn't do it; they were stacked there. But you get out there and you get surrounded by all of that, and you really do get kind of a sense that you are in a very magical place. At least I do. Does it strike you that way?
Absolutely. When you're on there, you can really feel that energy there, especially when all the energy is just right, in certain times of the seasons. Sometimes it makes your hair stand on end.
Yeah, and especially since you realize, I realize, I'm standing amidst not just artwork, but something that these ancient people felt was very, very important, crucially important, so that they didn't have videotape, so they marked it down by carving it or chipping it into the rocks. Jeff, when I talked with you earlier about some of the things that I was seeing, I mean, it just struck me. I was looking for photographs that had to do with these petroglyphs, and as I was looking for the photographs and looking through photographs, it struck me that, I've seen that somewhere else. And I started looking at photographs from the Sumerian culture and found that there were some very similar markings, very similar depictions in the Sumerian. One of the things, now I don't have a picture of this tonight, but one of the things that you see out there is this swastika. But it's not the same as the Nazi swastika. It's turned the other direction. But you see swastikas out there. And I did a little research on that. And these appear in almost every ancient civilization all over the world. And the reason it's called swastika is in the ancient Indian language, swasti meant it had the concept of sort of for the good of the world.
See, there it is right there.
Means.
You see this one, and when you're watching these, if you watch them, there's a few videos missing. Like 2 is obviously missing. It's going into 3. I think video 6 is missing.
Feast of Phoenix.
And then 8 and 9 are missing. So I don't know what to make of that. But this is a structure, an old structure that's there in Arizona. As you can see, it's there in Arizona. That is left from the Hohokam remnant that was there. Now they're gonna try to tell you, oh, the Hohokam disappeared, but we know what that meant. Then if they disappeared, you can find them. They were just enslaved. It was the same thing as the Aztecs. They were sold into slavery, to build the railroad and all that, to the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the McCormicks, the McDougalls, and others. Let me see if I'm looking for. I want to jump ahead, but I don't want to go too far ahead. There's a part of this video, there's music, and I don't want to get flagged for that. Let's see here. Yeah, this is what I wanted to get to. All right, let's see here.
They built their houses.
This is the houses that they lived in
A construction that today we're calling them pit houses.
Check this
Now,
out.
the reason we call them pit houses is because if you walk through the door of that house, you don't walk in to the floor. The floor is not level with that door. You step down about 3 feet. So that house is about 3 feet into the ground. The floor is. In the very top of that house, and this is a reconstructed pit house. It's made of adobe. In the very top, in the center of that, there's a hole. Now, the larger pit houses sometimes had 2 holes in the top. One was like an escape hatch. You could come in and out, and they had steps. The other one is for the smoke from the fire that they use for cooking and in the winter for heat. Inside of this pit house, if you open that door and allow the air to flow through that door and out that exhaust vent, if you will, in the top of it, the internal temperature of that house will stay below, generally speaking, below 95 degrees. Now you may think, oh well, that's still hot. Well, Jeff, I think you can attest to this. If you're out here and it's 121 degrees and you can get into some place that's 95, it feels mighty cool.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And so they had devised this way of building houses, and they built them in communities. The community, there would be all of the houses in the community would be constructed like this, around a central courtyard. And then they would have a large communal oven for cooking meat and bread. Very often, a communal well for fresh water, or a cistern. And they had a ball court. They played ball. I don't know exactly what kind, but...
Well, guessing probably either lacrosse, soccer, or basketball.
They had a ball court for sports. Now, these would be in the...
It was in my gym class in high school. I actually learned that they were trying to teach us that the Jews invented basketball. So we know what that means. And soccer, well, Christopher Colon, or Columbus, he went down to South America and Mexico and seen the natives were kicking around a rubber ball, and so he took the rubber ball back to Spain, and now soccer is the number one sport in Spain. And lacrosse, I was watching that video about proving that the DNA proved that the Mormons wrong. The people they call Native Americans are not, the Jews or the Hebrew people. And in that video, they were playing lacrosse, and they called it baseball. But anyways, if you just take the Wikipedia, it tells you that Native Americans invented lacrosse. So
villages.
Anyways, this is just part 1. I'm going to make another part 2.